Trippy back now. Can you see it?
I'm refreshing the stream. I hate that it doesn't fucking mute my voice. Like, I had it on mute.
Welcome to streaming.
Yes, it's there.
Okay, good. So, do you understand what the function does?
Yes, it's going to tell whether or not there's a dog.
In the list, yeah. So now when we call it, has dog p with some kind of list. Then it's gonna say nil with a list of Minty and Chimera, but if we say then it's gonna return a true value.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go see and make sure my PS4 isn't fucking downloading something, because this is tanking.
Oh,
Still.
okay. Alright. Otherwise, I can also try giving you the YouTube link again if I can figure that fucking shit out. That's a problem every fucking time. Why am I not live? Oh my god. Live. Shut up, me. You back yet?
Okay, there's nothing downloading. Shit's just fucking retarded.
I've linked you the YouTube variant on IRC if you want to use that instead. Maybe that'll work better.
The internet here is just the worst I've ever had to live with.
Yeah. Yep. All right, we
There
caught
we
up.
go. Yep.
Okay, good. So, for these two examples that I have here, can you explain what exactly is happening? So, for instance, with the first one, where I've has docp for the list of Minty and Chimera, what's happening when this code is run?
There isn't one in the list, so it returns nil.
Right. But what is, like, more precisely, if you go step by step, what exactly is happening?
It's checking the list specifically for the word dog, and neither one of those is dog.
Yes, but you're still not expressing it like a computer would do it. So, for instance, in this case, when this code is evaluated, it sees that there's a list here, so it knows it needs to call a function. So it looks at the first element and sees this is has dogp, a symbol naming this function as dogp. Then it looks at the second argument, which is this quoted list. So it takes this list and it passes it into the function has dogp. So now it goes into the function and it sets this variable list to this list here as a value for that list. And then it goes on and it sees, oh, here's a thing, another function call, this time to the function member with the first argument dog, which is quoted, so it returns the symbol dog, and list, which is a variable. And now, because we passed in this Minty and Chimera list, it knows that it should substitute that. And then it calls the function member, and the member function does something and returns nil for it. So that's the very rigorous procedure that the computer actually employs when it runs this code. So if we wanted to, like, do that again, but instead write it out, we start out with has docp, right? We take this form and then we plug it into this function. We take this function and we replace list with the actual value that we got. Sort of like this. And now we just have this left, and then we evaluate that, it obviously returns nil. Did you follow that?
As best as my internet would allow me to, yeah. When you're
Okay.
highlighting different stuff, just stay there for a few seconds.
Okay, yeah, I'm going a bit fast, sorry. I'll try to go slower. Yeah, but the delay, I imagine that's confusing when you don't hear my voice at the same time.
Yeah, you're saying this does this, and it's like I do know that the stuff in the list is what's being evaluated. I'm not one for these sort of technical terms. Like I get exactly what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. So let's maybe try to turn this problem you're stuck on into multiple like smaller pieces. So we're supposed to create a function called longer than that tells you whether the first list is longer than the second one, right? So there's two parts to that problem. The first is determining how many elements a list has, and then comparing two numbers to each other to see which one is greater. So given that, what's the first step that you need to do in order to solve this? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm looking at my previous stuff that I had written
Okay. Um,
and
let me type it
thinking.
out. Hold on, just so we can. I think what he had was. I'll just paraphrase from what I think you had. Uh,
The last one was the one that I did with the little quotation thing.
I think at one point you had this, right?
Yeah, but I had the X and Y instead, and
Right.
then
Well, okay. So let's try and go.
the last example I had the little quotation thing
Yeah,
before the list spot.
yeah, but let's instead go with this version for now. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's try doing what I did above with this hasDocP function. So we're gonna call this with an example. So let's say longer than, and we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, and the list 1, 2, whatever. So what happens when this code is now run?
I don't know.
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna hit enter and find out for science.
all right, hitting enter returns nil. So let's step through this again. Let's take our function definition. We copy it. And now, instead of a and b, we just replace them with what we actually used as arguments. I'm taking this a, and I'm putting it in here. I'm taking the b.
Wait, why in the has dog one? Why is there member dog list? That's not
What do you mean? That's not what?
nothing. Never mind.
Yeah,
I get why
just
that's there now.
disregard it for now, okay?
Some shit clicks easier than others.
So now I've replaced a with the actual value that we used. I'm going to replace b with the actual value that I used, right? So do you see what the problem with this code is now?
Yeah, it's missing the specific the quotation marks and the parentheses around the list on the inside. I never did that one on mine.
No, not quite. So right now, what this is doing is it's calling list, the function list, with this list as an argument. So if we run this piece of code, if we do that, then the list function is just going to wrap it inside another list. So essentially what this turns into is this. Can you follow why that is?
Yeah.
The same thing happens on the other side, right? So we again have list and this 1, 2 list here. So when this is evaluated, it just wraps it in another list. Do you see what the problem is now?
So it's just not gonna evaluate those then, right?
Well, they're still in a quote, so these two are not being evaluated. No, they're treated as actual data, so they're treated as literal lists. So when you have this list here, which has just one element, which is another list, if you take the length of that, there's only one element, so it's always 1. Right?
Yeah.
And on the other side, the exact same thing happens, so this is also 1. And 1 is never greater than 1, so this is always nil. Do you agree with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I'm not talking.
Okay.
When my brain is thinking, it's trying to process the information and I just go quiet.
Okay. So we know this is not the solution we want. So let's backtrack to where the problem began. So here we're still basically fine, right? We do want to take the length of the list, and we do want to compare whether one length is longer than the other. So that wasn't a problem. So let's go back another. Undo that again. So here we're taking in this 1, 2, 3 list and wrapping it in another list. But that's not what we want to do, right? Because the wrapping is what actually causes the problem. Because once it's wrapped in another list, it's always one element, right?
Yeah, that's the last attempt I had the word didn't have the word list in there. I figured that out.
Right. So
You explained that part already.
if you do this, if we just throw away the list on both sides, and we now only have length of 1, 2, 3 and length of 1, 2, we do get the solution we want. Because now length here is going to return 3, and here it's going to return 2. And 3 is greater than 2, so we get t, which is the solution we need.
So then how did I get the last one that I sent you wrong then? Is
Let
it
me
because I didn't put anything in place of the X and Y?
let me open it up real quick.
Because I had. Okay, hold on. Let me type in IRC what I had.
Okay, the last one you sent me was very different. But we can go through those again as well.
I put everything after the defund part up top.
Yeah, that's
Like,
fine. Right. Okay, so
yeah, that's the last one I sent.
let's do that instead. Right.
Should I have put stuff in instead of the X and the Y?
No. Like, so if we have this as code, then here in this code, since the parent A is within the quotation mark, it's not actually treated as code, right? So we have the literal list A and the literal list B, which are used as arguments to length. Those lists always have one element, so the value that we get from length is always 1. That's not what we want.
I know, but 311 just says takes two lists as input and returns C if the first list is longer than the second.
Yes, but here with the quotation mark, we're not even using the arguments at all, because we have a literal list with an element being the symbol A. So whatever we pass into the function as values for these variables is not used.
So if I wanted to put something in there in place of list A and B, and I had A and B in there to define it, would if I put in a list and then a second list, it would put them in order in place of where the two variables go?
Yes. So,
All right.
so if we go back to the above definition we had, so here you can just replace any use of the variable a with whatever value you pass in. So as we did before, here you will get in 1, 2, 3, and here you would replace b with 1, 2. The problem in your latest example or latest solution is that because A and B are within a quote, they're not used as variables. They're used as literal data. So we can't do the replacement here.
But if you put in actual lists in place of those variables, would they get a quote?
I'm not sure in which direction you mean. So if we had in the pre let's go back to this function again. If we go back to the first solution you had.
I'm looking at blurry text here.
Shit, is it still not readable? I'll make it even bigger then. Is that better?
Hold on, it's gonna take a minute. Oh, yay, I can read it again. That's
Okay,
nice.
good. So in this version, here we're having this actual variable called a. So here we can replace a with the value that we pass in. So we actually pass in the exact same, basically the text we can just copy paste in here, including the quote.
Yeah, because for the has dog pee one that you got up there, there is a quote.
Yeah.
On the outside.
Yeah.
So there's no quote when I have a variable in there.
Yes.
But there is one when there's a genuine list.
Yeah, so this is the difference between code and data. When you have code, then you can't have a quote, but when you want to sort of prevent it from being read as code, then and instead want it to be used as data, then you put the quote in front of it. So in this case, we do want a to be treated as code because it should be a variable, so we can't have the quote. And now the only remaining problem is that with these parentheses around a, Lisp thinks that you want to call a function named a instead of the variable named a. So we need to remove the parentheses as well.
I get that.
Okay, so now if we define this and try it out, now it works fine. And that's all there is to it.
I get it.
Great.
Is the A and B stand in place of where the list goes, and the list will have the quotations around it because it's a list, so there doesn't need to be quotations around the A and the B.
Yeah. Yeah, this kind of like understanding the distinction between how things look in code and what things are when the program is actually run is like pretty difficult to wrap your head around.
No, I get it. Like, if you had said the other day, hey, when you run a list in place of that X, is it going to have quotations around it? I would have picked up on it.
Okay. Well, it's hard for me to like there's so many pitfalls.
And then there's different ways of learning and picking stuff
Yes.
up. And that's where the disconnect comes in between you trying to explain stuff
Yeah.
and me understanding it.
So let's just do the next exercise, all right?
Alrighty.
So write a function add length that takes a list as input and returns a new list with the length of the input added onto the front of it. So if the input is a list ABC, the output should be 3ABC,
Just a sec.
for instance. Sure, take your time.
All right, I'm back.
All right. What do you got?
I wasn't. I there's phasmophobia on Steam. My kid wants it. That's
Oh,
what I was dealing with.
all
Hold on.
right.
Okay, I sent it on the phone.
Yeah, I saw it. Wait, that's an old picture. Wait, hold on. Scrolled up. Never mind. I'm dumb. Yep, that's correct. That looks good. Can also try it real quick. I'm just gonna type it out. There you go. Works as advertised. Very good. Also try out this snippet that they posted here. There we go.
Three 13's really easy, so there's two arguments, caller and callee, and the result's gonna be hello Fred, this is Wanda calling, right?
Yep. You got it.
And then the next one, because quotation is on the outside, then nothing in it is going to change. That would be an error?
No.
No?
No, because it's quoted, it'll just be the literal list again. So it'll just be hello callee, this is caller calling, no matter what you use as arguments.
Yeah, it's not gonna replace Wanda
Yeah.
and Fred in there at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Good. All right. And then there's a bunch of shit before the next exercises. All right. And that's the end of the chapter, even, I think. No, wait, there's more. Never mind.
Yeah, no, wait, there's more. Yeah. It's. There's
But wait, there's more.
You dork.
Call now. 1-800-FRED. Anyway, Yeah, I'll once you get to the point where it like asks you to actually type stuff out on the computer, I'll help you set that stuff up. So just let me know when you get there.
All right. I'm not on the schedule at all this week, so it really shouldn't be too much longer.
Dude, don't worry about it.
I know, but when I'm not like actively reading or learning something in some way, shape, or form, my brain melts.
Oh yeah, I know that much. Funny actually, I've been like for the new team members I'm getting, I've been writing documentation today on the game and stuff, and also been writing like a crash course on Lisp, which goes super fast over everything or most things that'll be relevant, and I have no idea whether they're gonna be able to grasp it. So that's gonna be interesting. Oh boy. All right. I'm gonna go continue working on that.
Back to IRC.
Yep.